We fixing to make this town real smoking.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Tekken 8 Season 3 update plans that was revealed less than 24 hours ago. Players have all seen it, they all reacted to it, and generally a lot of people are walking away with very positive feelings. The people who aren't so happy about this update, they're more so happy because the update isn't showing enough. Where things went wrong is purely down to marketing. The decision to put back to basics in the trailer, but that's not actually what's happening in the game, is the exact same thing that happened in season 2. But with season 2, the developers didn't get out ahead of the miscommunication that happened with the players, which resulted in the review bomb and resulted in the players feeling lied to. Also, that combined with the developers, Harada specifically, telling people before you complain about the update, go and try it first. That tweet aged terribly in less than 24 hours. This time around with season 3, you could see that that same thing was about to happen, where they put some, basically like false advertisement in the trailer. Back to basics is not what this update is going to be, yet that's what it's being sold as. So whoever is marketing this game and doing this with each season pass, they have to knock it off. It is creating unnecessary problems, and it is also making the players angry when they would not have been in the first place. If they literally did not put those 3 words in the trailer, a lot of people wouldn't be upset right now. And the reason why I start the video off by talking about this is because it's definitely the most important thing that they're currently struggling with. Now, overall, the player base is pretty excited about the things that were shown. 2 major things. I will kind of ignore rank because the rank changes, they did a lot of like mumbo jumbo, like word salad, word pasta. But we will have to wait and see, because we know that this game is trying to intentionally inflate the ranks. So when they say that they're trying to fix whatever problem they perceive to be there with the ranks, is that going to be fixing of the inflation, or will it be something else that, so we just have to wait and see what they're actually trying to do with ranks. Maybe they'll make it worse, and in season 3 I'll be God 4, Tekken Kings will be God 2, and then, all the pros will be God Infinite. Who knows? I pretty much don't expect them to revert things back to how they used to be with Tekken 7 in terms of the rank format, because they're not doing that with the gameplay as well. So who knows what they're doing? We'll find out soon enough. But as for the actual game, like changes to game philosophies that they're planning, it's really good. Not allowing the heat smashes to wall splat is a huge change. Now that in season 3 every character will operate that way, it will be a good change overall. And I think if they continue making changes like that, it will be great. Because a lot of people are taking issue with them not necessarily addressing, well, from what we know so far, they're not really addressing heat or addressing installs. They're just limiting its ability to cause damage. Now, to be fair, if they did that enough, the game still can be good, right? If they limit enhanced heat attacks, installs, and how frequently they're used in heat, how frequently a lot of these things show up. If they just reduce all of it, it would allow for true Tekken to shine through so much more. I never was under the impression that season 3 would remove heat, and I tried to tell people that that would not happen. We could see even in the same trailer I was just talking about how we see stances still existing. Them going this route of trying to reduce the damage and the impact of these things, overall I think it will be the correct decision. If they do it properly, it will, and if they do it significantly enough, it will be the correct decision. Because another criticism that people have about this update, kind of that it's not doing enough. With Tekken 8 as a whole, for 2 years, the entirety of the player base have been waiting. Season 1, we had to wait until season 2, tournaments was over. Season 2 came, it was completely not what we wanted. The developers acknowledged that, but still we had to wait for more. All of season 2, we slugged through the tournaments. They didn't really do much. And now that we're here in season 3, where the developers say they will, or said they will fix the game, now they're telling us that the updates won't happen all at once, and it will take time, and it will be like a slow rollout. And players are kind of just sick of it, because you've been saying it's going to be a slow rollout for 2 years. We're like, how long is the lifespan of this game? Because if you go on for 4 seasons, we're halfway through it already. So how much slower will you go before the game actually gets somewhat good? I don't know. I'm just interested to see like what they mean by that. And why do they keep saying it takes time, it takes time, it takes time, but then they never do anything? It once again feels like some kind of like weird marketing ploy to just delay, addressing the problem for as long as possible. And then in the next game, do it all over again, more or less. And obviously, I don't want to feel this way about the game, and I don't want to assume that they, carrot on the stick. But at the same time, when the developers constantly say, give us more time, at a certain point, you have to say, okay, you don't get any more time. What is going on? 2 years, two tournament cycles, and we still don't have a definitive yes or no if they will balance during this tournament. So when the update hit in about March 17th, we have until May, so 1 month until tournament start. And if we give feedback, will that be listened to, or will we have to wait another year and hope it works? I just think that that is not very good for a live service game. It's not very good for a fighting game. That is dramatically hurting the longevity of Tekken 8. So many people every day is kind of like getting sick of the game, they're getting bored of the game, or they're tired of waiting. Now, at the same time of me saying this, Tekken 8 Season 2 is loved by many players. Many players are loving the game, they are enjoying the game, and this also brings up this weird like conundrum where they're stuck in the middle. Do they go back to what, the most vocal audience want them to really go back to basics? But there's a silent majority who loves this game the way that it is. So they're torn between two audiences, and which one do they listen to? I mean, to be honest, the silent majority seems like it is, in fact, the silent majority. Whenever I do polls asking people whether or not they like the game, the majority, which is around 70, 60, 80%, depending on what the question actually is, they say they love it. And if you really have this 20% that hates the game. And the reason why that is because not all of the 20%, but some of those 20% of players are playing the game at a higher level, and at a higher level, Tekken 8 really did a excellent job in restricting those guys' options. But this is once again where we go back to what they told us. They have a portion in there where they talk about taking into consideration the defensive options and evasion and one-sided offense, but also focusing on risk versus reward. And all of those things is something that I think is highly out of whack in Tekken 8. You can be the most reckless, carefree player in the game, and you don't really have any consequences for that, right? There's no risk there. It really is all the reward. And this is why you see people reach very high ranks while having 30 defense, 40 defense. You do need to add in a sense of limitations and a sense of risk and a sense of danger. You can't turn Tekken into a single player beat 'em up. And that's what it feels like a lot of the times. And being on the receiving end of that, especially against someone who isn't that good defensively, it kind of just feels like robbery at the end of the day. Specifically saying how they wanted to kind of try to address defense, evasion, risk versus reward, one-sided offense. I love that. I would love to see how that shines through in terms of the overall balance patch, but the fact that they just acknowledge that is good. Emphasizing how people are just getting steamrolled by these mechanics and talking about how you want to limit these mechanics. Once again, I love all of that. Another thing that I really liked as well is the refined balance, focusing on extreme offense, trying to limit that, like we saw with the Heat Smash Wall Splat. That's an example of it, right? But then also they said they wanted to enhance tactical judgment, and they want that to be more effective. And tactical judgment sounds like movement, sidestepping, crouching, backdashing. It sounds like that side of Tekken, and I hope that's what they mean. A lot of the times when they give these clear breakdowns, you still walk away with a lot of questions, and there's no real way for us to get the answer until we run into the update. I will show you guys this. On Twitter, updated 1 hour ago, is the summary post about this. It says Tekken 8 Season 3 patch targets Heat Smash with wall splats. The patch ends wall splat from Heat Smashers, side-by-side videos of Season 2 punishing pins versus Season 3 clear slides. It also cuts off characters' buffs like Claudio Starburst exactly when heat expires, addressing complaints about extended pressure after one mistake. Quality upgrades include rank reset based on Season 2 peaks, clearer post-match breakdowns, improved matchmaking, and developer feedback portal. While many welcome the nerfs to silly exploits, some Hotron mains mourn the loss of tools, and others want faster overhauls. The Hotron mains who are sad that their move no longer wall splat, and they're currently right now as we talk, they are asking the developer for buffs. Yes, you can make fun of those guys for doing so, but when that happens across the board for everyone in season 2, when we see those patch notes, let's see if every character, every main of every character is not singing the same tune they are. So you could laugh now, but when your character gets destroyed, because every character is really strong in this game and they have something that should be addressed, when that thing gets addressed, will you be doing the same thing that Hotrongs are doing right now? Or will you be like, this is what we asked for? Overall, I think this is still a W for Tekken, and I think that they can turn this into a massive W, but them being so slow with their updates and their overhauls is definitely one of the biggest hurdles to overcome. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and bye-bye.